Happy Friday, television family. The weekend is almost upon us. In fact, if you stand on your tiptoes, you might be able to see the weekend. I'm Dan Coos, 27th day of June, 2025, last Friday of the month. Of course, Tuesday of next week, it's July. And by Tuesday of next week, it's going to feel like July. We're going to have the same thing we've had for the last couple of days. Passing clouds, sunshine for the most part, just a few passing clouds, windy in the afternoon and in the evening hours today. The high-pressure ridge will begin to move in on Saturday. We'll be warmer on Saturday, a little bit of wind on Saturday. We really start warming up on Sunday, and then it just gets hot, and it's going to stay hot for most of the week. We're going to get close to 100 on Monday and close to it perhaps on Tuesday, a little cooler on Wednesday. Forecast details are coming up, but the last 2.5 days or so of comfortable weather is going to be with us for the next 48 hours, and then we get hot. News, yeah, a lot of news. Another busy day in the newsroom. It always seems to be that way. Mariners and the Twins had to sit out a 4-hour and 22-minute rain delay. The Mariners should have just said, why don't we just forfeit and fly to Arlington? But they still had to play baseball. They don't let you do that in Major League Baseball, and the Mariners probably wish they just hadn't. They got creamed, in case you didn't know about that. Whenever the Apple Sox travel up to Bellingham to take on the Bells, and this has been going on for a long time, Bellingham always seems to have the upper hand when they host the Apple Sox. That changed last night. That's good news. And in the back half of the program, you don't want to miss this. Our content producer, Josiah Davison, teamed up with our friends at the Wenatchee Valley Museum and Cultural Center to take you on a little video tour, some places not open to the public at the Wenatchee Valley Museum and Cultural Center. Mariah Thornock will take you around there. And then they went down to the old Chelan County Courthouse at the corner of Kittitas and Wenatchee Avenue. Talked to Ron Lodge, who used to own that plot of land, because they've decided to keep that historic building and they're going to remodel it. It's a great video. You don't want to miss it. That comes up in the back half of the program. Good stuff from Josiah. You'll have that as well. It's tour time. We got a lot to get to. It's a busy Friday. Let's see what we have out there. Not as many clouds this morning as we had yesterday at this time. No AQI problems at all. In fact, the Palmas fire got rained on last night. I'll show you the video here in just a couple minutes, but good morning to the Wenatchee Valley. Again, pretty comfortable today. Upper 70s anyway. It will be about 80 on Saturday, and then the real warm up begins Sunday and Monday. We topped off at 78 yesterday, just a few degrees below our normal high of 81. The overnight low was mild, though, 60 on Thursday night. Sunrise this morning, 5:06. Sunset tonight, 9:02. 15 hours, 56 minutes of daylight. We're going to lose about 30 seconds of daylight today compared to yesterday. Our second camera up to Billy Goat, and it looks a lot clearer up there than it did yesterday at this time. Get that spider web. Trying to get that spider web out of there. Of course, it's the technicians have to drive a long way and then climb a big tall tower just to get rid of the spider web, so I don't think they're going to be doing that. Good morning to our friends to the north of us, where the mighty Medhow flows into the even mightier Columbia River. Camera number 3. Lake Wenatchee chimes in. Few clouds there, not too bad. As the sun begins to rise, the snow continues to melt, and we got a camera. I got a camera shot from the Lake Wenatchee Fire District, which is going to show you the rain that came down late yesterday afternoon, early evening on the Palmas fire. And finally, camera 4. Blag Mountain. Good morning to Blag. Good morning to Leavenworth off in the distance. That is, I think that's zoomed out a little bit. That is a lot of real estate, and you can see how the clouds kind of get right up to the Cascade Crest, right up to the very top of the mountains, and then they kind of dissipate and float away as they come into our neck of the woods. So the clouds look a little thicker and a little lower from that view. But keep in mind, that camera is really high up there. It's about 5,000 feet above sea level. So that's one of the reasons the clouds look so low, but they're actually not that low. Check out this. They needed some rain on the Palmas fire, and they got some. This is from the Lake Wenatchee Fire and Rescue camera, and this is pointed right at the Palmas fire. And this was last night between about 5:30 to about 6:30 last night, and they got some badly needed rain on that fire. That's one of the reasons that the air quality has gotten considerably better. That is pointed directly at the Palmas fire. You can't see it. It's behind a ridge, but yeah, they got some rain in the Aniad drainage yesterday afternoon and last night, and boy, do they need that as well. We didn't get too many rain, a couple of light drops. We officially didn't have any rain measured at Pangbourne, but they did up there, and they need it. Here's your 6-day outlook from the National Weather Service, and we're going to peak out probably in the Wenatchee Valley on Monday. Other locations, the hottest day of this heat wave is going to be on Tuesday. A little bit of cool down on Wednesday. Temperatures will cool slightly by the middle to the end of next week for the holiday, but they will still be above normal. We've been actually a little bit below normal for the last few days as far as our temperatures, but that is going to change. And when the heat comes, and it will be here definitely by Monday, a friendly reminder, it is going to be hot, which means you got to do the things that you got to do to keep yourself cooled off. Drink a lot of water, stay out of the sun in the middle of the hottest part of the day, wear white cotton clothing, all the stuff that you should know. And of course, at the very heat of the day, if you can get inside where there's air conditioning, get inside where there's air conditioning. This is the first really significant heat wave of the year. I mean, hot weather. We've had warmer than normal weather in a number of locations, especially in May, but this is hot. It's going to get hot, folks. In detail from the National Weather Service, one more weak set weather system rolls in today. We'll have lots of sunshine. We'll have more than we had yesterday. We had some afternoon clouds, as you might imagine. We'll get up to about 78. Yep, a little breezy today, especially just like yesterday in the later part of the day. Between about 5 and about 9 is when the wind will be at its strongest. 57 for the overnight low tonight. Sunshine all day Saturday, a little windy on Saturday night. We'll top off at 82, about normal. But by the end of the day on Saturday, that ridge of high pressure will be moving over the top of the Pacific Northwest. So we're going to amplify that heat a lot on Sunday. We're going to be a good 8 degrees warmer on Sunday than on Saturday, and then we get real warm. Maybe 100 on Monday. We'll know more when we get together on Monday. And then Tuesday, and then Wednesday, and then Thursday will be in the 90s, although it's going to cool down a little bit. Not too much. The first significant heat event of the year is knocking on our door, and it will be here by the end of the weekend. All right, after a 2-minute break so we can pay some bills, we'll do the news. You're watching Wake Up in Wenatchee Valley on the NCWLIFE channel.
There's no place like home, because home is where we're totally comfortable. It's where we can be ourselves and let our guards down. It's where we make memories, and we're always imagining new ways to keep it totally comfortable. Carrier, total comfort, totally happy.
Call Alpine Air Heating and Cooling today. Your comfort is their priority.
Hi, I'm Amanda Walden with A. Walden Insurance Group. Medicare can be overwhelming, but you don't have to figure it out alone. I've been helping people understand their Medicare options for over a decade. Medicare isn't a one-size-fits-all. I'll help you understand your coverage options so you can feel confident in your decisions. Let's find the right Medicare plan for you. Call me today or come and see me at my office located on South Chelan Avenue in Wenatchee between the YMCA and the Social Security office. I look forward to meeting you soon.
Tour Moses Lake just a gas tank away. With its abundance of outdoor activities, Moses Lake is a great place to visit. From fishing and boating to exploring the city's attractions, there is no shortage of things to do. Whether you're enjoying any one of the variety of restaurants with the family or an adventure-filled day with friends, Moses Lake has something for everyone. TourMosesLake.com and start your adventure today.
Caught in a conflict? Family, workplace, neighbor, business, housing disputes? Wenatchee Valley Dispute Resolution Center provides mediation services, a cost-effective and efficient way to provide a written resolution to disputes and issues. Plus, we offer mediation training and community education on conflict resolution and communication skills. Contact us to learn more.
61 degrees, quite a bit of sunshine today. A little windy this afternoon and tonight, a little windy this afternoon on Saturday. It's going to be warmer Saturday. Going to be into the 90s on Sunday and just plain hot for most of next week. Almost 10 minutes after the hour, Chelan County officials have clarified courthouse arrest procedures after some federal immigration agents detained a man just outside the courthouse. It happened earlier this month. Our media partners at the Wenatchee World reports that a June 11th meeting between Superior Court Judge Kristen Ferreira, Sheriff Mike Morrison, and Prosecuting Attorney Robert Sealby focused on ensuring compliance with state law by federal agencies such as the Immigration and Customs Enforcement. That follows an immigration arrest earlier this month just outside the courthouse doors in a possible violation of Washington law. Sheriff Morrison said Chelan County is adopting signage and procedures modeled after what they do in Pierce County to ensure transparency and proper check-in by federal officers. Private security and campus deputies will now maintain a log of all enforcement visits. Judge Ferreira said future incidents will be documented and courts will be notified when non-local law enforcement officers are present. Two Wenatchee apartment complexes soon to break ground will earn a property tax break by keeping some of their units affordable for low and moderate income renters. The Wenatchee City Council last night granted 12-year tax exemptions for a $15 million apartment development that's going in on Walla Walla Avenue, as well as a smaller complex in the works on 5th Street right across from the college. The Walla Walla site will be home to 125 rental units on 3.6 acres. Now, to earn the tax exemption, 24 of the planned apartments would be priced for moderate income renters and 1 unit for low income applicants. Community Development Director Glenn DeVries told the council it's the first new housing development to earn the tax break since the city changed its ordinances to allow it.
I think one thing that's really interesting, one of the recent housing studies that analyzed our multifamily tax system said that, they were skeptical that we would get people applying for this. I think Wenatchee is such an we've got a lot of positive things happening. People want to come here. I'm excited that we're getting these applications under these new rules. It shows that we're attractive and people still want to come here, even with this heightened level of restriction. They find that it still has value to them to apply for it, and we're getting a 12-year benefit for low to moderate income units.
A Wenatchee man suspected in a gang-related Saturday shooting is now formally charged with attempted murder. Chelan County prosecutors on Wednesday charge Adil Ricardo Aparicio with that felony count, plus a charge of making a felony threat to kill. Wenatchee police say Aparicio, who's 21 years old, shot and seriously wounded another 21-year-old man near 9th Street and North Mission Street at about 5:15 on Saturday. Aparicio allegedly asked the victim's gang affiliation, began a physical struggle with him, and then made threats before opening fire with a .380 caliber pistol. The victim was flown to Harborview Medical Center in Seattle with severe internal injuries. Aparicio has been jailed since his arrest at the scene, and police say numerous passers-by witnessed the incident. Judge Robert Jordan set the bail earlier this week at $500,000 based on the seriousness of the case. A Wenatchee man convicted at age 18 of mugging an employee outside the Pybus Public Market has failed to overturn his 2023 jury conviction. James Gregory Jackson Jr. argued that Wenatchee police improperly suggested that he was the culprit when they brought in a robbery victim to identify him. Jackson was arrested after knocking the female employee to the ground and stealing her purse as she walked to her parked car. A Chelan County jury convicted him of first-degree robbery, resisting arrest, and obstruction after he ran from Wenatchee police near the Apple Capitol Loop Trail. On Wednesday, the State Court of Appeals based in Spokane turned down Jackson's claims, saying the victim would have firmly identified him even without coaxing from the police. He is serving a sentence of 35 months in prison. Wenatchee High School will officially be cell phone free this fall. On Tuesday, the Wenatchee School Board approved a new policy that only allows cell phone use before and after school. The practice will be assisted by lockable yonder pouches where the phones are secured until the end of the school day. The district says the goal of the policy is to address classroom distractions and the mental health impacts social media has on students. The same practice was implemented for middle and high school students at the River Academy for the school year that just concluded. And Ettore Castellente is officially an East Wenatchee City Council member. The former Douglas County Fire Commissioner was appointed by the council to fill the position 3 seat left last month by departed member Rob Tidd and swore his oath of office at the June 17th meeting. Castellente will fill the seat through the end of the year, and it's open for election, but because he's also running unopposed for the position 4 seat, Castellente will begin a full term on the City Council in 2026. And that's the news on what's been a very busy, month. Quite frankly, one more newscast before the crew can call it a weekend, although they have a tendency to work on weekends too. We'll have it for you tonight at 5 o'clock, 6 o'clock, and 10 o'clock on television. Don't forget at 6:30 tonight, Apple Sox baseball. So if you're used to watching the news at the 10 o'clock hour, might be delayed a little bit depending on how long the baseball game goes. 5, 6, and 10 on television. Available for you to watch online right about 5 o'clock by going to our homepage, NCWLIFE.com. You can also watch our evening news on our YouTube page, and there'll be a link on our Facebook page. And if you have a news tip, send us an email, news@ncwlife.com. Mariners are probably happy to get out of Minnesota. They started out 4-1 on the road trip. They're not anymore, but the Apple Sox won. Sports is next. You're watching Wake Up Wenatchee Valley on the NCW Life channel.
The Surf and Slide Water Park is open from Memorial Day through Labor Day. Surf and Slide is located in the heart of Central Washington in Moses Lake with activities for all ages and abilities. Check out Surf and Slide's Flow Rider Surfing Simulator, Lazy River, 2 200-foot water slides, tube slides, and diving boards. Our children's area includes a Treasure Island water structure, splash pad, and baby octopus slide. For season passes, visit us online or find Surf and Slide on Facebook.
Central Washington Water understands the power of healing waters. If part of your wellness routine includes hot heat from a sauna, Central Washington Water now carries indoor and outdoor infrared and hot rock saunas by Tilo. Research shows there are many health benefits to a cold plunge after a good workout or relaxing time in your sauna. Harness the power of water in a hot spring spa, plug-and-play spas, a Tilo sauna, or a cold plunge tub. Stop by Central Washington Water, your wellness experts.
The joys of sitting in traffic, burning gas, donating your paycheck to parking enforcement. Or you could join us this June for Ride Transit Month. On Link, you ride for free, anytime, anywhere. Plus, Link's electric buses run on clean, local hydropower. Thanks, Columbia River. So while you're saving some cash, you're also saving a planet. So hop on board Link for Ride Transit Month. Stress-free, wallet-friendly, eco-smart.
Craving fresh Asian comfort food? Steam Panda is Wenatchee's popular family-friendly Asian restaurant. They focus on providing guests with delicious, healthy, fresh, and natural dishes for an affordable price. It's time to enjoy one of their many popular house-made soup dumplings, ramen noodles, or pho dishes. And make sure to ask about their lunch and chef specials on sushi rolls. Steam Panda's Hawaiian poke bowl and salads are excellent with your favorite boba tea. Stop by or order online at Steam Panda today.
"18 minutes after the hour, the Mariners and Twins had to wait out a 4-hour, 22-minute rain delay, only to see Seattle score just 1 run. They didn't even do that till the top of the ninth. The Twins bombed the Mariners 10-1 yesterday at Target Field. Brooks Lee led off an 8-run 6th inning against reliever Zach Pop. He hit a home run, then came RBI doubles from Brian Buxton and Willie Castro, a 2-run base hit by Carlos Correa, and a 2-run homer from Matt Wallner.
Here's a swing and a ground ball to third. Tricky hop backhanded by Ben Williamson. Toss across in time to get Brooks Lee, and what a play by Ben. Another Benny this afternoon. He had to go quickly to his right at the last second. That ball shot up to his right to backhand it, and he gets Lee at first base. Outstanding play by Williamson, 2 down. Then he takes the ball, he throws it out to Randy Rosarain in left field. It tosses it to a fan.
Larnach had 2 balls and a strike, no score, and the pitch, a swing and a drive into right center field, and deep back it goes, and gone! Trevor Larnach with a 2-run home run here in the 5th inning, and the Twins have a 2-0 lead.
He has been absolutely on fire. Mechanics on point right here. He gets a hanging changeup and drives that thing deep into right center. I'm telling you, Corey, this is the type of hitter he can be.
clipped him on the backswing. Garver got his bell rung.
Well, the runner, Castro, faked going, so all of a sudden you have a situation, where he's coming out of his stance, and then the foul tip gets him right in the chin. You'll feel that in your jaw for a couple days.
So Garver having to exit after that nasty foul tip. This will impact the lineup. So Cal is moving from DH to catcher.
Zach Pop takes over for Seattle, and Lee sends one in the air to right field and deep. Back it goes towards the dock, and that is gone. Nothing old school about that. A sinker to Lee's liking, and the Twins add on. It is now 3-0.
Old school players hit homers too, Corey, all right? Wasting no time right here. I mean, that pitch is up, out, over the plate. A little Ken Griffey Jr. bat drop right there. Okay, Brooks Lee, I see you, big fella.
At 3-1. And the pitch to left center. Rodriguez going back. Rodriguez at the wall. It is gone. And Wallner finds the bullpen in left center, and a swing he needed. It is 10-0 here at Target Field as Wallner hits his 7th.
I mean, everything is coming up Twins right now, and you're right, Wallner needed that big time.
Slow bouncer. And Clemens cannot field it cleanly. Canzone scores, and the Mariners are not shut out today.
That's going to stay fair. Sands out of the baseline is Young, and the ball game is over.
Seattle scored just 1 run in the last 2 games. Sounds familiar? Manager Dan Wilson said the Twins pitching is good and that the Mariners need to get back to what they do best.
Offensively, just not able to get too much, going. I thought, their starter, he did a good job. He mixed the ball around. He did have pretty good command and used his fastball well, so kept us pretty quiet. And it's a tough way to end the series, but we move on now and get ready for our series with Texas. We've talked about this club. The Twins have good pitching, and sometimes that pitching can quiet you offensively, and they were able to do it here the last couple nights. Saw a little bit of a spark there at the end of the ball game, putting some good at bats. We just need to get back to what we do, which is getting runners on, creating the traffic, creating the pressure, and driving them in, and that's what we're going to look to do tomorrow in Texas. I think they were able to put some pretty good at bats on Pop and break it open pretty quickly, and we just weren't able to come back from it. Yeah, Garv, took one in the mass down towards the chin, and kind of injured his jaw area. He's going to get some imaging tomorrow, and we'll see how it goes from there. Yeah, we're going to obviously assess things when we get some answers tomorrow and go from there. But yeah, that's a position that's typically you have to be pretty careful.
Seattle starts a 3-game road series at Texas tonight, the last stop on a 10-game road trip. Logan Gilbert pitches against the Rangers' Nathaniel Eovaldi. First pitch is at 5:05. To the scoreboard we go. The Astros keep right on winning. They're starting to pull away here a little bit. Astros have a 6.5-game lead over the Mariners now. They haven't scored a lot of runs, but they keep beating the Phillies, and the Tigers beat the Athletics. The Angels and the Rangers had yesterday off. The Wenatchee Apple Sox won 2 of 3 in Bellingham for the first time in 15 years. They knocked off the Bells 3-2 last night. Cal Paniagimban went 2 for 5. He had a solo homer in the first. Theo Kim went 1 for 4. He had an RBI base hit to give the Sox the lead in the 6th. And then Joe Thornton got the win in relief. He threw 2 no-run, no-hit innings. Sox are back at Paul Thomas Senior Stadium tonight to start a 3-game series against the Victoria Harbor Cats. First pitch, 6:35. And to the scoreboard we go. Wenatchee is now just half game behind the Bells in the WCL North after knocking off Bellingham last night. Edmonton is just a game back, even though they got shut out by Victoria 2-0. And of course, the Harbor Cats are coming to town tonight. They're 2.5 games behind Bellingham. And Kamloops has been playing very good baseball. They're just a game back. They knocked off Kelowna last night 3-2. And yes, we have baseball tonight. It is the Harbor Cats and the Apple Sox. Pre-game 6:30. First pitch 6:35. Eric Granstrom and Brandon Schmitten on the call. So if you're going to be at the ballpark tonight, drop by, say hi, meet a couple local celebrities. Who knows? Some might show up. And those are just some of the games that people are playing. 25 minutes after the hour. Happy National Onion Day today. Onions, they go back, cultivating onions for eating purposes, goes back to, excuse me, got a little bat in my mouth. Goes back about 5,500 years. Yeah. Of course, it's popular all over the world. Onions are very good for you, very healthy. Complex sugars for your metabolism, vitamins, minerals, fiber, beta-carotene, folate, no fat. Yellow onions, by the way, make up about 75% of the world's onion production. For reasons I don't know, consumption of onions in the United States rose 50% in just the last 20 years. And from the 15th through the 18th centuries, onions were taken to North America by European settlers over the Atlantic because they didn't believe there were onions in the New World. Turns out there was. Native Americans have been planting, growing, and eating onions for a long, long time. 26 minutes after the hour, today in history. 2 days after North Korea invades South Korea 75 years ago today, the United States decides they're going to send troops to fight in the Korean War. And it wasn't just, of course, the Americans and the South Koreans. The United Kingdom sent troops, Australia, the Netherlands, Canada, France, New Zealand, the Philippines, Turkey, Thailand, South Africa, Greece, Belgium, Luxembourg sent troops, Ethiopia, and Colombia. 36,574 Americans would die. 450,000 Americans were wounded. 7,926 Americans went to Korea and never came back, declared MIA. 40 years ago today, the United States Department of Transportation decertifies Route 66 from Chicago to Santa Monica, 2,448 miles. Of course, it was the primary route for those who wanted to migrate west with the invention of the automobile and the idea that you could pave roads. In the 1930s and 40s, it was the route to get out of the Midwest and head to the west. And of course, a lot of businesses propped up all over Route 66 and made a lot of money. Route 66, no more, 40 years ago today. And 26 years ago today, 56,530 fans, the 1,765th and final Major League game is played at the Kingdome. The Mariners won. They beat the Rangers. Fittingly enough, Ken Griffey Jr. hits the last homer.
But in a Major League game, that was special. Here's the pitch on the way to Jr. Swinging a drive deep to right field, down the line. There it goes. Goodbye, baseball. He did it. Holy smoke, Ken Griffey Jr. with a 3-run homer. Mariners take the lead. 3-2 over the Rangers. Number 377 for Jr. And there go the flashbulbs. His 27th home run of the season electrifies the crowd, a sellout crowd. His final game of the Kingdome, and Jr. comes through. Holy smoke, that is baseball theater, folks. Baseball theater.
Wilson, the native of suburban Chicago. Mesa, a native of the Dominican Republic. The closing battery here at the Kingdome trying to end it. Now the stretch. The 2-2 pitch on the way to Rusty Greer from Jose Mesa. Swing and a fly ball hit into left center field, and moving over is Hunter on the run. He's got it, and an era is over. The Mariners win it in unbelievable fashion, 5-2. My, oh my! This place exploding, 56,530 with flash bulbs going off. You would think the Mariners had just won the World Series. They haven't, but it's the best thing until it comes along.
26 years ago today, and in case you don't remember, after that game, the Mariners went on a 16-game road trip over 18 days. They needed to do that because they weren't sure if Safeco Field was going to be ready by July 15th, so they spent a long time on the road before Safeco Field opened in the middle of the next month. And we have birthdays. One heavenly birthday. A lot of people simply assume that Helen Keller was born deaf and blind. She was not. She was about 1.5 years old when she contracted an illness that the doctors didn't know what it was. They called it acute congestion of the stomach and the brain. Contemporary physicians think she either got scarlet fever or meningitis. Nobody really knows. Of course, it left her both deaf and blind, but she was able to see and hear until she was about 1.5 years old. The legendary Helen Keller, born in the state in 1880. Life's good for J.J. Abrams. He's 59 years old today. He directs, he produces, he writes Armageddon, Star Trek, Star Wars, The Force Awakens, Lost, Mission Impossible 3. Movies are pretty good and they make a lot of money. And speaking of movies that are pretty good, make a lot of money, Tobey Maguire is 50 years old today. Spider-Man, Spider-Man 2, Spider-Man 3, Spider-Man 4, Spider-Man 19, Pleasantville, The Cider House Rules, Wonder Boy, Seabiscuit, The Great Gatsby on down the line. Happy 50th to Tobey Maguire. For heat and air, call Alpine Air. For heat and air, call Alpine Air. They are our platinum sponsors, and we're glad to have them on board. Still to come, Mike Minotti has an opinion about a certain tech billionaire, well, the richest man in the world. I think you know who I'm talking about. And then a video you don't want to miss. Took quite a bit of time to put it together, but Josiah Davidson, one of our top content producers, got together with the Wenatchee Valley Museum and Cultural Center. If you live in the Wenatchee Valley, you should know about the history of the Wenatchee Valley. A video that you don't want to miss is coming up. You're watching Wake Up Wenatchee Valley on the NCWLIFE channel.
Les Schwab changed the tire game more than 70 years ago. Today, we still believe you should get more from less. Like more hustle, less hassle. More of the best service around, less of the runaround. Because we include America's best tire warranty in every tire we sell. So you get more unbeatable warranty, less charging you extra. It's why we're more than proud to say, you get more from less.
Cashmere's Founders Day is wrapped up in one big fun-filled day, Saturday, June 28th from 10 to 6. Founders Day began in 1979, celebrating all that Cashmere has to offer. The classic car show is always a favorite in the heart of downtown, as well as the ping pong ball drop in the park. And of course, the day concludes with a grand parade at 5 p.m. Please support these businesses during your visit to Cashmere. The Cashmere Chamber of Commerce, promoting the businesses in Cashmere.
Welcome to Boswell's, where you'll find quality furnishings for every room in your home. Customers ask, do you have solid wood options? Yes, they do. Bamboo, maple, acacia, cherry, mahogany. With 2 floors of quality furniture and complimentary design services, Boswell's design team can create a home that's uniquely yours. For almost a century, people have chosen Boswell's for their quality and customer service. Boswell's Furniture, it's closer than you think.
Welcome to Mountain Chick Floral, your go-to flower and plant shop in downtown Wenatchee. Explore their wide variety of unusual and fun plants. And when you buy a plant in a container, they'll pot it up for you absolutely free. Birthday or weddings, they'll create the perfect floral arrangement for you. Brighten up your office with fresh blooms delivered to your door or business. Ask about floral subscriptions. Visit Mountain Chick Floral today, where every occasion is a reason to celebrate with flowers.
Hey, this is Mike Mad Dog Magnotti, and everybody is entitled to my opinion. Now, just because I support a particular politician does not mean I have to jump to their defense if they or one of their associates does something wrong. For example, this Elon Musk recent flinging a Nazi salute. Now, any rational person would recognize this as a horrible thing. I mean, come on. In Germany, he would have been arrested. But a number of our current president's supporters have frantically searched the net to find pictures of Democrats waving, hailing a cab, or trying to get a waiter's attention and saying, look, it's the same thing. So why are they picking on poor First Buddy, as Musk has anointed himself? You know, I don't care who I support. If I can't admit it, when someone I like or someone connected with them does something they shouldn't do, you have every right to question my integrity, as I do yours. This is Mike Mad Dog Magnotti, and that's my opinion.
It's the NCWLIFE Community Calendar, a presentation of Apple Valley Honda. The next historic wine walk through downtown Wenatchee will be on Saturday, June 28th, hosted by the Wenatchee Valley Museum and Cultural Center. Pre-register at the museum's website. Tickets are on sale now for Dirty Rotten Scoundrels, the musical. It's this year's Hot August Nights production from Jamie Donegan. Christina Capehart directs this comedy based on the 1988 film. You can get your tickets at the box office or at the website for the pack.
Are you hungry enough to eat the end out of a rhinoceros? I know how you feel. Come on out to Blueberry Hills. You'll have a great time. We've got excellent food, a feet on the furniture kind of experience, and we won't hustle you out of your table. If you want a real farm experience, make the trek to Manson to Blueberry Hills, where you sit, you pick, you eat, and you visit. So come on out and see what all the fuss is about. Blueberry Hills in Manson. It's where the world is coming to.
Welcome to the Gilded Lily home, where something extraordinary is waiting for you. The Gilded Lily offers a unique collection of hand-selected, carefully curated items to help you celebrate all of life's special moments. From the budding chef to the home decorator to that very special occasion, there is an abundance of delightful gifts waiting for you. The Gilded Lily home, where you can step in for inspiration and leave with beautiful items to brighten any area of your home.
Now there are even more reasons to meet at the Pybus Market. Outdoor dining and tastings, the fabulous Farmers Market, Saturday artisans on the concourse, and your favorites all week long. No matter the reason, it's always time to meet at the Pybus Market. Pybus Market, where community meets.
For much of the past half-century, architecture was under the spell of a famous doctrine. Form follows function had become a modern manifesto, perceiving historic architecture as unnecessarily decorative and absent of utilitarian purpose. While this fails to acknowledge the creative problem-solving at work, it also fails to recognize the embedded, essential community stories scripted into our buildings.
Here in the Wenatchee Valley, we have a treasure trove of decorative and subtle historic architecture. In honor of National Preservation Month, I'm going to introduce you to some of these historic places. Places that are keepers of our community's history, telling the stories of the people that lived, worked, and played in our valley. Today, we're going to explore Wenatchee's architectural past, community stories, and unseen functional marvels hidden in plain sight.
We are starting our journey today in Wenatchee's historic post office, now home to the Wenatchee Valley Museum and Cultural Center. This building is one of the first in town to be included in the National Registry of Historic Places, first nominated to the list in 1976, just a decade after the register was established in 1966. The 1960s were a tumultuous time for historic architecture. Many of these buildings were seen as unuseful for their age, and their design was unappreciated. Recognizing the tragic loss of historically important buildings across the country helped ignite the preservation movement and save many buildings from potential destruction. As it goes with all fashions, these historic structures are recognized today for their beauty, and charming historic downtowns like Wenatchee's are appreciated and actively restored.
Aside from the aesthetic appeal of historic architecture, they are active community collection items that help us tell a deeper story. Let's take the museum floors here for a moment. Back in time when it was the sorting room floor of the Wenatchee Post Office, on a daily basis, a ton of mail or parcels would get sorted throughout the room. That shifting weight needed to be taken into consideration, and they did this by creating these unique floors. As you can see here, we have 2x4s that are cut on end and stitched together. They are then installed in the floor at their strongest point. And it is in this strength that they were able to actually solve their structural engineering problem using the most common building materials of the 1930s.
Additionally, above my head is the post office catwalk. This catwalk was installed as an early version of the security cameras we are all so familiar with now, with those slits in the catwalk acting as viewing monitors postal supervisors used for surveillance of postal employees' activities and general post office security. Historic preservation of buildings not only provides a look into our past, but allows history to be a continuum we are all participants in.
Let's head down to the museum archives, where collection manager Anna Spencer will show us around and will tell us a little bit about the past and current uses of this historic space. Hi, Anna.
Hi.
Thanks for having us here today.
Thank you. Welcome to the Archives Lab.
So thank you for having us down here. This is such a treat. Most people don't get to see into an archives lab. Give us a little bit of an orientation. What is this space and what's going on here?
This is, as you said, the Archives Lab. This is where when items are donated to the museum, they get processed, they get inventoried, they get boxed, housed, and then shipped out into one of our collection storage rooms to live out their days.
So when you say they get shipped out to the collection storage rooms, that's still here in the museum.
Yes.
Tell us a little bit about how do we store things here at the museum?
The basements of both of our buildings are comprised of about 20 rooms, and we try and categorize items by type. So this building houses a lot of our archival material. The basement next door houses a lot of the artifacts, the physical objects that we have. So. Yeah.
Well, I think it's really interesting that we get to be in such an old building that has a history of its own, and we're having our historical repository here. Everybody knows us as the museum. Maybe everybody didn't know that our archives were here now, but now they do. A lot of the community remembers these buildings as the post office, but who else made their home here? Did these buildings have any other life other than being your archive lab?
Yeah, so before it was our lab, it was the Department of Agriculture's lab. So after the post office moved out, Department of Agriculture moved in, and this is where they would do experiments on pesticides, tree fruit dips to help with decay, and then in our hallways, if you see when you're down here, you'll see the large fridge doors. This is where they did experiments on climate control and the atmospheric testing they would do to figure out what is the perfect way to preserve an apple and keep its longevity.
So this is just fascinating. A building that helped make Wenatchee the apple capital of the world now gets to share its history as the apple capital of the world. We have quite a few buildings here in the valley that have those kind of layered histories and have a lot of community stories. There's one that I'm thinking of that has been hidden for some time, and now with it coming more out into the open, there's a lot of interest around it. We're going to be joined by Mr. Ron Lodge, and he's going to take us through the Chelan County Jailhouse, tell us a little bit about those stories, and then I'm hoping to actually find out the next chapter in that building's life.
That's great. Have fun.
Driving down Wenatchee Avenue, most people had no idea they are driving by Wenatchee's oldest brick building, located on the corner of Wenatchee Avenue and Kittitas Street. 133 years ago, the Clark Hotel was erected, and for many, it was their first stop in Wenatchee after disembarking the Great Northern Railroad. The Clark Hotel, built in 1893, was actually the key to Wenatchee becoming the county seat and the Chelan County Courthouse being located in Wenatchee. In 1899, with the creation of the county finalized, both the city of Chelan and the city of Wenatchee wanted to lay claim to the county seat. Judge Burke, who owned the Clark Hotel, helped secure the seat for Wenatchee by selling the Clark Hotel for $1 with the stipulation that it be used as the courthouse, but that the county should be named Chelan.
Hi Ron, thanks for joining me today.
Hey Mariah.
We are at the site of the Wenatchee jailhouse, actually the Chelan County jailhouse.
Yes.
For much of the past couple of decades, it's been out of sight, out of mind. Not out of sight for you, as your office was right in front of this, but it once was a lively part of the history of downtown Wenatchee. And I don't think there are many of us around that remember what it was like back in its heyday, but I'm hoping you could tell us a little bit about it.
Sure. The jail itself was built in 1910, and it was an add-on to the courthouse, which was next door. The building on the corner was originally built as the Clark Hotel when the railroad came through in 1893, and became the courthouse in 1900 when Chelan County was formed. And then about 10 years later, in 1910, they erected this jail building. And I just discovered recently that it actually opened on, I believe it was August 27th, 1910. Believe it or not, this thing was built in 3.5 months.
Oh my gosh, that's amazing.
They awarded the contract in May, and it was ready to go at the end of August. And all brick, concrete, steel. They said the only wood in it was the window casings. Everything else was, fireproof. And it had about 8 jail cells on the main floor. Each would hold up to 3 prisoners, so it could hold 24 prisoners on the main floor, all men. And then upstairs, there was actually a padded cell and a couple of cells for juveniles and a ward for women. And so it was deemed as simply escape-proof when it was built, and one of the finest jails in the state of Washington in 1910. So if you look at the building from the outside, it pretty much looks exactly like it did in 1910. It really has not changed. The interior, when Chelan County built their existing courthouse, which is on Washington Street. That was in 1924. And then this property was purchased by the Doneen family, by John Doneen. And he converted the courthouse back into a hotel. It was called the Doneen Hotel. And the jail building, they called that the Hotel Annex. They took out all the bars and took the bars out of the windows and the cells and everything, put in partition rooms, and actually put in sleeping rooms with running water and toilet rooms down the halls and that kind of thing. And so it operated as a hotel until about 1939, and that's when the John Doneen leased the property to Signal Oil, and they vastly renovated the building on the corner, turned it into a gas station, and then the jail building ceased to be used at that point. Although one of John's daughters, Mary Ellen Doneen, actually lived there for a while and into the mid-50s. So she used it as a personal residence until sometime in the mid-50s, and after she moved out, it's really been vacant ever since then. So the last 70 years, it's been a vacant building.
Yeah, so its occupants have gotten smaller and smaller and smaller, with 24 plus inmates in it back at its start to, I'm sure they didn't have 3 people per room when it was a hotel. So, and then somebody got to call it their home for a while.
Yeah.
What a fascinating place to have a home.
Yeah, fascinating history.
Yeah, well, like many of our buildings here, it seems like there is not any one building that keeps its space as the single use,
Right.
It gets to become part of the community in many different iterations. You got to use it for a little while when Keyhole Security was at front here.
Yeah, I used it for storage for about 25 years. It did have some residents then. They were called pigeons, and I had to get them all cleared out with a butterfly net and throw them out the window, and we got it all secured. I got it all boarded up and screened off to keep the pigeons out. So I think it's been tenant-free for quite a while now.
Yeah. So. How much of the inside would you say is like it was back 100 years ago, and how much?
It has not changed in 100 years.
Changed.
The partitions that are in there were built in 1926.
Okay.
And so we're approaching 100 years.
Yeah.
But it really has not changed one bit. So it is a step into the past.
Yeah, we get to time travel a little bit.
Really, yeah, it's amazing.
Well, thank you. You know, this building thankfully has an exciting future in front of it, and its occupancy is going to explode when the community gets to become more involved in it. So I'm thrilled to be able to share its history. I want to thank you for coming and joining, and I think we're going to go chat with somebody else to figure out what the future vision of this building is going to be.
Awesome, I can't wait.
Yeah, great to talk to you, Ron.
You bet.
Thank you.
Thank you.
The title of Wenatchee's oldest brick building has moved on to a new bearer this spring with the demolition of the old courthouse building. That title now belongs to the Morris Building, just a few blocks north on Wenatchee Ave. This transition has set the stage for the old jailhouse to come front and center and claim a spotlight as a future fixture of downtown.
Hi, Robert Carr with Widener Apartments.
Yes.
Mariah Thornock, thanks for joining me here today.
Mariah, great to see you.
So Robert, I don't know if you know this, but your project has generated a lot of excitement here in Wenatchee. You have uncovered a lost treasure for us. This building was hidden for quite some time, and once that building in front of it came down, people are eager to know what's to become of this. And I'm hoping you might be able to tell us a little bit about the history of this project, what you guys are taking on, and the vision of where you see it going.
Absolutely. Well, we were also very excited to see this building uncovered. We're very excited for the future, and we think that this building represents obviously the past. It represents the history of Wenatchee, but it's going to be a centerpiece of the future of Wenatchee as well. We're going to redevelop this entire site, 212 apartments, but at the center of that is the old jailhouse, which will be the centerpiece of 15,000 square feet of retail, restaurant space. The old jailhouse is going to be a speakeasy, and we're super excited about maintaining this kind of cultural artifact of Wenatchee and integrating it into the future of downtown.
Well, this is really going to be a wonderful addition to our historic downtown. We have a lot of lovely buildings that over the years have been rehabilitated, preserved, and are really in their shining glory. So we're really excited to be able to stretch the downtown corridor and include this. Is this the first time Widener Apartment Homes has taken on a restoration project like this, or have you seen this done in the past?
You know, this is really the first time we've done anything like this with a building of this vintage. So it's new ground for us, but it's something that we're very excited about and passionate about.
Well, wonderful. We think this is going to be a great addition to the neighborhood. How fun is it going to be for us once this is done to come have a drink in a speakeasy in the old jailhouse? I mean, it certainly excites the imagination. Do you have about a timeline of when you think this will be ready for the public, and you and I can come and have our first drink here?
Absolutely. So 2027 is our goal, and we think that we should be able to meet that probably about 2 years from right now. We should be able to, knock on the door, or however you get into the speakeasy, and figure out how to enjoy ourselves there.
Well, sounds good. Well, I might call you back up to figure out that password here in a few years. But I appreciate your time today. I really appreciate your vision for this building. Thank you for preserving a piece of Wenatchee's history. I'm excited for the future.
Yeah, well, we are too. Thank you very much.
We've only scratched the surface when it comes to the historic buildings in Wenatchee and their fascinating history. I hope you'll take the time to explore more, whether it's through one of the museum's programs, like our downtown Dose-and-Lead walking building tour, or the self-guided walking history tour. Take a day to be a tourist in your hometown. Discover for yourself the hidden stories in the buildings and places here in the Wenatchee Valley.
You trust the same doctor for your health and the same dentist for your smile. Trust Global Car Care to keep your vehicle running strong. We track your car's history so it gets the right care at the right time. With our 3-year, 36,000-mile warranty on parts and labor, you'll drive away with confidence. Global Car Care, your automotive experts. We service all makes and models, but specialize in Sprinter vans, Mercedes, Audi, Volkswagen, and BMW. Call or visit us today.
Oh, happy day, Wenatchee Valley. Collins Fashions is looking forward to our famous summer weather. We are fully stocked with shorts, capris, skirts, tees, and tanks. Summer dresses have all arrived in many styles and colors. Special occasion dresses are on full display, and we have something for everyone. Collins is your Brighton headquarters with jewelry, handbags, charms, and sunglasses. We invite you to visit Collins, where fun meets fashion in downtown Wenatchee.
Celebrate this great country of ours during Rock Fest in Rock Island the last Saturday in June. Great music, great bands, great fun. It all happens at the Rock Island Golf Course. Mark your calendars and be prepared for fun, family fun, and live music till the fireworks start crackling. Sponsored by Real Homes alongside Douglas County and Marson & Marson. Pack your chair, pack your picnic basket, or enjoy food from the food trucks. Rock Fest in Rock Island the last Saturday in June.
Welcome to the summer of good. Good people, good taste, good vibes, and good, well, everything. When you're ready for some old-fashioned good, Abby's is your place. We've been celebrating summers around the P&W for over 60 years. At Abby's, good is a legendary tradition. Here's a good-looking pizza, guaranteed to bring some summer smiles. And right now, it's on sale, so it's good for your wallet too. This giant is loaded with toppings and can feed up to 6 people. Order at abbys.com. Give us a call or just drop by. It's the summer of good, only at Abby's Legendary Pizza.
Before we head on down the road, a little shop talk. We have Apple Sox baseball tonight. Don't forget about that. The Harbor Cats are in town. Is that an animal? Harbor Cats? I don't know. Victoria's in town for a 3-game weekend series. We'll have the game for you tonight right here on the NCWLIFE channel. If you can make it to the ballpark, we always encourage people to go to the game. You can watch it right here with the first pitch at 6:35. The Palmas fire, about 35 miles up the Antioch drainage, continues to burn, but they got some good stuff yesterday. They need rain, and they got some. This is the camera that is operated by Lake Wenatchee Fire and Rescue, and they pointed the camera in the direction of the Palmas fire. As the crow flies, it's actually not that far, and as you can see, yesterday, between about 5:30 to about 6:30, a squall came through, and it rained on the Palmas fire. It didn't rain a lot, but it did. Every little bit helps. So thanks to the Lake Wenatchee Fire and Rescue folks for that camera pointed to the Palmas fire. That's exactly what wildfires need, rain, and they got some yesterday. Not a lot, but every little bit helps. And as we've talked about this for the last 3 or 4 days, it's going to get hot next week. It's going to be borderline hot on Sunday. It's going to be just plain hot on Monday and Tuesday. We have a chance to get to 100 on Monday, maybe even Tuesday as well. It's going to cool down a little bit on Wednesday and Thursday as we head into the Independence Day weekend. But common sense prevails. If you have to be out and about in the heat, dress appropriately, get inside for some shade, drink lots of water, all that good stuff, because everybody in Eastern Washington and even Western Washington, the Pacific Northwest for that matter, is going to be in for quite a bit of heat. The first real significant stretch of hot weather is coming our way quite soon. All right. From the National Weather Service, sunshine today. It is going to be a little breezy, especially between about 5 to about 9. Tonight we'll top off at about 78. The winds will die down tonight, overnight low of about 57. Sunshine all day Saturday with a little bit of wind, not too much, but a little bit of wind on Saturday night, and then here comes the warmth. On Sunday we'll be in the lower 90s. By Monday we'll be in the upper 90s. Could get to 100 on Monday. Could get to 100 on Tuesday. A little bit cooler Wednesday and Thursday, but keep in mind our normal high this time of the year is 81, and we're going to be above that certainly starting tomorrow and definitely by Sunday. Get ready for some hot weather. I'm glad my AC works. Have a good and safe weekend and start next week with us. Until then, bye-bye.